by three. What a merry band are we! We are outlaws only in name, hi-ho. Helping others is our aim, hi-ho. So sang Robin Hood and his merry men in Sherwood Forest when Henry II was King of England. Enough of singing, cried Robin Hood. Let us try our skill with a bow and arrow. Now each of you shoot 3 arrows at yonder target, and if any fellow misses by so much as 1 arrow, he shall have a buffet of Will Scarlet's fist. The men cheered as David of Doncaster shot 3 arrows right to the center. Midge the Miller also shot his arrows true to the mark, but Tom the Tinker missed the target by just a hair's breadth. "Come here, my good Tom," said Will Scarlet. "I owe you something." Will Scarlet rolled up his sleeves, and he gave him a blow that sent Tom tumbling head over heels. This was how the men made merry. It was only in fun. Though they were outlaws, the people of the countryside loved them because they always helped the poor. In the midst of the fun, in came running Allen of Dale. "Gather round," he cried. "The Sheriff of Nottingham is giving a prize of a solid gold arrow to the best archer. The contest will be held tomorrow at the fair." Robin Hood rose. "Good. I will accept this challenge. I myself will enter the contest." Little John stepped forward. Now Little John was Robin Hood's right-hand man, and really very tall. "My good master, do not go," he said. "This is a trap. The sheriff knows that you will seek the prize, and he will be set to capture you." Once in a quarrel, Robin Hood had wounded one of the sheriff's men who had wrongly accused him of shooting the king's deer. And ever since, the Sheriff of Nottingham swore that he would take Robin Hood prisoner if it were the last thing he ever did. When Robin Hood heard Little John's speech, he said, "You are wise, Little John, and truly a good friend. But shall we say that the Sheriff of Nottingham frightened Robin Hood and his men? Shall we let him call us cowards?" "No, no," cried his men. "I have tricked the sheriff before, and I will outwit him again. We will go in disguise, yet we shall not leave behind our bows or our swords, for we may need them. Do you like the plan?" "Good, good," roared the band of men. "Then let's drink to it and sing a hearty song. Drink, drink, drink to the Sheriff of Nottingham. We fooled him once, we fooled him twice, and we'll fool him yet again. Drink, drink, drink to the merry, merry fair. Ta-ta-ta-tum, ta-ta-ta-tum, tomorrow we'll be there." Merry was the fair at Nottingham. Tents of all colors, decorated with streamers and flowers, dotted the green before the gates of the town. People crowded around, talking, singing, and dancing. Robin Hood, disguised in a tattered red suit and a patch over his left eye, mingled with the crowd. He was followed by Little John, who was also in disguise. They came to a group dancing gaily and joined in. "Morris dance is a very pretty tune. I can dance in my new shoon. My new shoon made out so good. I could dance it if I would. This is it and that is it, and this is Morris dancing. My poor father broke his leg, and so it was a chancing. This is it and that is it, and this is Morris dancing. My poor father broke his leg, and so it was a chancing." "Now let us find some sport," said Robin Hood to Little John. They soon came to a ring in which a tall man was walking up and down, swinging a heavy stick and shouting, "Who will come and strike a blow for the girl he loves best?" He was Eric of Lincoln, who had beaten every man that challenged him that day at quarterstaff. Many stood round, but none dared to step forward. "Look," cried Robin Hood, "there's the Sheriff of Nottingham seated just the other side of the ring. This will be great sport. I'll challenge this man right under the sheriff's nose." Robin Hood cried out above the noise of the crowd, "I'll strike a blow with you." Eric looked at Robin Hood and laughed. "Why, with one swing of my staff, I'd have you on the floor. Nay, sir, I'll not fight with a one-eyed man." Robin Hood jumped into the ring, picked up a staff, and shouted, "You'll find that I see better with my one eye than you do with your two. Defend yourself." With these words, they stepped forward, each grasping his staff tightly in the middle. Eric strutted around as though to say, "I'll play around with him a while, then finish him off." But Robin Hood gave him a swift blow to the shoulder. Eric staggered and tried to return the blow, but found that he had met his match. Robin Hood easily turned aside every one of Eric of Lincoln's strokes. He fenced with Eric a little while and then cried, "One eye am I!" And with that, Robin Hood gave Eric a blow to the back of the head and then another on his crown, and Eric fell stunned to the floor. Little John sped to Robin Hood's side and urged him to leave before the sheriff would recognize him. Just then, one of the men said to the sheriff, "This stranger looks familiar." Before the sheriff could look more closely, Robin Hood was gone. A moment later, Robin Hood was singing with a group of people at the end of the fair. The hunt is up, and it is well nigh day. And Henry our king has gone a-hunting to bring his deer to bay. The heralds blew their trumpets loudly to quiet the great roaring noise of the crowd. The sheriff rose to announce the rules of the contest. Each man will shoot one arrow. The best 10 of all the archers will be chosen to shoot again. Then each of these 10 will shoot 2 arrows. The 3 best of these 10 will then shoot 3 arrows each. And the prize to the winner shall be a solid gold arrow. The crowd roared. It was a wonderful sight to see. The archers were gathered at one end of the field in a great tent. At the other end, a good 300 feet away, stood the target. People sat and stood on all sides, eager for the contest to begin. The crowd cheered as each archer stepped forward to shoot. Especially loud were the cries when a favorite came up. One by one, the sheriff inspected each archer. Not one resembled Robin Hood. The sheriff said to one of his men, "Surely Robin Hood must be among the best 10. The rogue is a skilled archer indeed." After each archer had shot his arrow, the judges examined the target and selected the best 10. Of these, 5 were the most famous in Nottingham. 3 others came from Yorkshire. Another was a tall stranger in blue, and the last, a stranger in a tattered red suit with a patch over his left eye. The sheriff and his men looked over these 10 very carefully, but none recognized Robin Hood. The sheriff was angry, and he banged his fist on a rail. "Robin Hood is a coward as well as a rogue. He dares not show his face among good men and true." 10 men stepped forward to shoot again. Each man shot 2 arrows. The crowd watched without making a sound. Never had such marvelous archery been seen before. Now only 3 men are left. One is Gilbert of the Green Cap, one Adam of the Dell, and the tattered stranger in red. Gilbert steps forward. He fits his arrow to the string. He draws his bow, taking careful aim. Sing! His arrow hits with the width of a fist away from the center of the target. Now comes Adam of the Dell. He aims. He shoots. His arrow lands right beside Gilbert's, but is closer to the center. The tattered stranger comes forward. The crowd roars with laughter as he braces his elbow and shows a large yellow patch beneath his arm. He draws his bow. He doesn't even take aim, and the arrow flies. It lands just to one side of the center. It's the best shot yet. The stranger wins the first round. Who will be the winner in this closely matched contest? The crowd quiets down as Gilbert shoots again. His arrow hits just an inch from the center. Then Adam shoots. But something has happened. It's way off. Now the stranger in red shoots. His arrow falls just beside Gilbert's, but it's on the outside. Gilbert wins the second round. The crowd is going wild with excitement. The archers are now coming up for the final round. Gilbert comes forward for the third and the last time. He shoots. The arrow lands just a hair's breadth from the center. Adam of the Dell comes up. He looks nervous. Slowly he raises his bow. He measures the distance carefully. He shoots. The crowd is stunned. His arrow has hit the very center. It's a bullseye! The stranger comes forward. Can he hope to beat that shot? Everybody is tense as he calmly selects an arrow from his quiver. He puts it to his bow. He aims carefully this time. He shoots. Sing! Can it be possible? Yes, it's really true. His arrow has split Adam's arrow in two and sticks right in the exact center. The crowd is speechless, but when the sheriff came down to the field, they gave out one great shout. The sheriff looked at the stranger more closely. Why, you're the man who beat Eric of Lincoln. Not only are you champion with a staff, but you are the best archer in the land. Truly have you won the prize, a solid gold arrow. The stranger did not say a word as the sheriff gave him the arrow. If you will join my service, said the sheriff, I will feed you well, give you good clothes, and pay you handsomely. Nay, I will not join your service, said the stranger. No man in England shall be my master. Then the devil take you and leave at once, cried the sheriff in great anger. The stranger left. He was at the edge of the fairgrounds when suddenly he turned, pulled the patch from his left eye, and he shouted, I am Robin Hood, master of Sherwood Forest. What, Robin Hood? Cried the sheriff. Yes, he shouted from a great distance, and a fig for your prize. With that, Robin Hood put the gold arrow to his bow. Pausing a moment to take aim, he shot the arrow high in the air. It flew the distance of the fairground and fell right at the sheriff's feet. The sheriff was so stunned that by the time his men could get to their horses to pursue him, Robin Hood and his men were well on their way to Sherwood Forest. 2 by 2 and 3 by 3, what a merry band are we. We are outlaws only in name, hi-ho, helping others is our aim, hi-ho. And so sang Robin Hood and his men in celebration of his victories at the fair, and other merry adventures to come, while safe in their hideout in Sherwood Forest.